6:30, and I want to get started so we can respect your time and get you out of here. I am Jane Johnson. I am the HR Director for Enid Public Schools, and I first want to start out by saying thank you so very much for accepting the calling to come to Enid Public Schools and be a part of our family and take care of our kiddos. So thank you very much for what you were going to do for our kids and our school district this year, and we greatly appreciate you and want you to feel welcome. So if you ever have any questions about anything, please feel free to reach out to the HR office. My girls, Amy and Shannon, back there in the back, you've probably spoken to on the phone already. They are fabulous at helping you out, so if you ever have any questions, just feel free to call them. Lynette Rice is the one in the middle back there. She's also great about answering your questions. She's our leaves and benefits coordinator, so she helps take care of our staff also. And then Sam Robinson, our CFO, is back there. He's our chief financial officer, and he'll visit with you in a little bit about paychecks and insurance. So at this time, the IRS requires us to lay eyes on your driver's license and your social security card. So even though you've uploaded them into our Talent Ed record system, I hope, my girls need to take a copy of those. So if you'll get those out, and they'll go make a copy and then bring them right back to you. All right, well, while they're gathering those up, we'll keep visiting. At this time, I hope that you have completed all of your onboarding tasks on Talent Ed records, including uploading a picture of your driver's license and your social security card. If not, we would encourage you to get onto Talent Ed records today at the conclusion of the meeting and finish all of your tasks, including signing off on the support employees benefits affidavit that you'll sign at the end of the meeting. So has everybody knows what Talent Ed records and your onboarding tasks are? Awesome. Fingerprinting. If you have not taken care of getting fingerprinted for employment, Enid Public Schools will pay for your fingerprinting. It's a requirement by law that everyone have a national background check that works for the school district. So we will pay for that for you because we appreciate what you're doing for us. Amy and Shannon have codes that they will give you that when you go to get fingerprinted, they will you'll pay for it with a code. If you pay for it yourself, unfortunately, we cannot reimburse you. So if you go down to get your fingerprints done, please be sure that you have the code that Amy and Shannon can give you when you're ready to do that. Some contract information. Employees accrue 1 day of sick leave per month that they work, and those can carry over to the next school year, up to 85 days that you can use at one time. If you have more than 85, we save those up in case you're doing Oklahoma teacher retirement. If you're doing into that system, you can use days that you've accumulated for sick leave for an extra year of service. But you can use up to 85 days in 1 year. At up to 100 days can be paid for at $10 a day when you retire from the district. So you save those days up, and the district will buy them back from you for $10 a day. Per our negotiated contract, you get 5 bereavement days, 2 emergency days, and 3 personal days. And this year, Enid Public Schools is doing a buyback program. We recognize the importance of having the same people in our classrooms and working with our kids every day, and we know that your attendance, no matter what you're doing, custodian or TA, it doesn't matter. We know that you are important to the school day running smoothly. So if you don't use your emergency days or your personal days in the school year, Enid Public Schools will buy them back from you next year in June. If you only use 2 sick leave days and none of your emergency days and none of your personal days, you'll get a check in June for $300. If you have to use one of your personal days, your sister's getting married and you have to be there for that, and you have to take a personal day, and you have 4 days left out of the 5, we'll buy those back for $200. And if you have 3 days left, then we'll buy those back for $100. So that's something new that we're doing this year. Also, should you need to be gone for an extended amount of time due to an illness, there is an additional, because you're only earning 1 day a month for while you're working. So say in March you were really, really sick and you had to take more than that, Enid Public Schools, you can request additional leave from the ESPO sick leave bank. And so we have information available to you for that if that should be a need at some point. Vacation for 12-month employees. If you are a 12-month employee and this is your first year with us, you get 1 day of vacation for each calendar month prior to June 30th. And then on years 1 to 9, you have 10 vacation days to use. If you're working for us years 10 to 14, you'll have up to 15 days. And at 15 years, you earn 20 days of vacation. That's only for 12-month employees, like custodians. If you're a teacher assistant, you're only working like 184 days, the same as the teachers. So that wouldn't apply to you. You can find your support employee contract at enidpublicschools.org. So if you go to the website, enidpublicschools.org, on the far right-hand side, there's a tab called Staff Resources, and you can scroll down through there and find the support employee contract. It's different than the certified contract. You can also find a link to that on your Clever page. When you log into the computer at work, there's a Clever page that pops up when you open up your web browser, and there's all kinds of little tabs. One of them will be the support employee contract. So I encourage you to read it. There's a lot of important information in there. Also on the enidpublicschools.org website, you can find your specific work calendar. If you are a teacher assistant or a paraprofessional or a food service or a custodian, your work calendar is located on the enidpublicschools.org website so that you'll know exactly what days you are expected to come to work. We have an employee payroll portal. It has that little municipal accounting systems is what we use. You will, as a new employee, you will receive your login and your password through school mail. It's printed and sent to you in school mail. At every school that you report to, there's teacher mailboxes, there's mailboxes for paraprofessionals, teachers, assistants, custodians, and there'll be an envelope from the business office that has your username and password in that so that you can log in every month to see exactly how much money is going to be deposited into your account for your payday. It also has your sick leave balances and things like that on there. So municipal accounting, and you can find that little logo on the Clever page when you first go to log in. Of course, we always need to talk a little bit about dress code. That will be something that you'll need to discuss with your principal or your supervisor as to how they expect you to dress during the day. Of course, how you view your dress for success may not be how your administrator views dress for success. So please clarify with them what kind of, if they're okay with jeans on their teacher's assistants, then you are welcome to wear jeans. We encourage you not to ever wear sweatpants, shorts, too tight leggings. I always told my employees as a principal, if you don't want to see mine, then I really don't want to see yours, kind of thing. So as you're getting dressed and getting ready in the morning, if it's a day that you go to the principal and you say, hey, we're going to be painting in kindergarten class tomorrow, are you okay with me wearing jeans instead of khakis or whatever, then they'll let you know kind of what their expectations are. We just ask that on a daily basis, it's nothing outlandish that would draw extra attention to us as a school district, or embarrass the people that you work with. Timesheet information. Miss Amy, you want to do a demo while I finish passing that out? Amy's the expert. at the ASOP and the Veritime, and so she's going to show you a little bit about how you log in, how you clock in, and then she's also going to talk about, should you need to be gone, how do you put in for an absence? And so she'll show you those two things.
Hello. So a lot of you I've already emailed your login information. Some of you I'm still working on that, but I'm going to walk you through how to enter an absence in the event that you need to be gone. So in the email that you have received, and again, I know I'm still working on some of you, you'll visit asoponline.com, and then you're going to not click in the login box or the sign-in box. You're actually going to go below it and select or sign in with organization SSO. Then you will enter your school email address. And then you're going to look that up, and then it's going to prompt you to enter your username and your computer password. And I know that we're still waiting on badges. Right now our badge machine is technically not working at the moment, but IT will be reaching out to you to your personal email accounts to schedule a meeting for you to come in and get your badge. So I'm going to go ahead and enter my username and my password. So this part will look just a little different at the moment. So this is what your profile will look like whenever you log in. And the calendar, that's just an overview letting you know like what days you would work. Like the yellow indicates that it's just an in-service day. So you're going to scroll down here below. You're going to select the day that you would need to be gone. You're going to select the reason. And you can select whether it's a full day or a half day. And then it's always good to put a note. We don't need too many details, but like if you're taking your child to the doctor, if you've been to the doctor, so you can put that information there. And then you're going to select Create Absence. And then that lets you know that that's been confirmed. Here you will see any scheduled absences, any past absences, and any absences that have been denied. And do you guys have any questions with that? Okay. Yes. And then I'm going to show you guys how to clock in. And let me get to another page real quick. Jane, are you signed in on this one? I'm signed in. Okay. Okay, so until you guys get your badge, you guys can clock in using our time clock feature. The schools will have that whenever you enter the building. It's typically in the office, and you'll see a screen that looks like this whenever it loads. So you can select Use ID and PIN, and the phone number that you're going to use is going to be your telephone number with the area code without the dashes. And then your PIN is the last four of your social. There are a few of you that the system does not like that, so I set that up as the last four of your either phone number or your birth year. But again, that's all in your email that you'll receive from me. So you would enter your phone number, the last four of your social, click log in, and then that's going to say your name and the time that you clocked in. You guys are required to clock in when you arrive, clock out for lunch, clock out or clock back in from lunch, and then clock out at the end of the day. And that we ask that you don't clock in no more than 7 minutes before your shift begins. Any questions with this part? Okay, now I'm going to go back to the other one and show you what your timesheet looks like. So I'm back in the absence management. I'm going to select up here in the upper left-hand corner, and I'm going to change it to time and attendance. Then you will select the timesheet. And you want to make sure that it indicates your clock-ins and outs for each day. If you are missing a clock-in and out, then you'll need to report that to the school office to have them correct that. You'll notice over here to the right-hand side, it has your hours. You want to make sure that they're, like if you're scheduled for 7.5 hours, that 7.5 hours appears over there because that's how we pay you. Again, if any time is missing, you'll need to report that to the office. If everything looks good, then you'll select Submit. It's just going to ask you if you are ready to submit these. You'll select Continue. And then another box will appear, and it's just wanting it to confirm that you're wanting to submit those. And if you have any comments, you'll go ahead and click Submit, and then that has submitted your timesheet. We ask that you do that at the end of each week. Any questions with that? Okay, that's all I have.
Thank you, Miss Amy. All right, so she's covered timesheets, and she's covered the fact that your attendance matters, and we ask you to put your absence in ASOP. And we also ask that you make sure that your principal knows when you're going to be gone. It's important that they are able to plan in case you're covering lunch duty. They'll need to know that they need to find somebody else to cover lunch duty that day. So please talk to your principals. Also, principals or supervisors, they'll have some instructions for you. You'll want to ask, hey, how early do you want me to let you know that I'm throwing up today? I was a principal that I was like, I don't care, my phone can buzz, it won't bother me, I'll look at it when I get up. So I'd let mine text me at 3:45 in the morning, I didn't care. Some principals say, please wait till 6 to let me know that you're going to be absent. So just ask your principal what they prefer. Records, your onboarding task where you did all those important things. Should you need to change your information? Should you need to change your phone number? There is a change of information form that you fill out, and you give us about a week, and we get your phone number changed in all of our systems. Why would you want to let us know that your phone number changed? Well, what if we have a freak snowstorm in October and we need to let you know that there's no school, that you don't need to report today? We want to make sure that we are calling the right phone number. So if at 10 o'clock the night before you say, oh, School might not be, we might not have school tomorrow. I forgot to change my phone number. If you change it at 10 o'clock at night, the night before the snowstorm, you're not going to get the phone call. So give us about a week, change of address, change of phone number, those kinds of important things. There's that change of information in records, so please get us that information. At the end of the meeting today, you can get onto records and you can sign that you have attended the benefits meeting and sign the benefits affidavit, and that's all that I have. If you have any questions for me. All right, Mr. Sam, I'm going to turn it over to you to talk about salary and insurance. And I feel really, really old all of a sudden. My little second grade baby from back in the day. I haven't taught in 32 years.
Good afternoon, I'm Sam Robinson, CFO for the school district, and we're going to talk a little bit about salary, and then one of the important things that's kind of been added this year is we're going to talk about retirement, because as support employees effective July 1, you have to opt out of retirement or else you're automatically in retirement, and once you're in retirement, you're in until you exit from your position. And once you're out, and you have 30 days to make that decision. So we're going to talk a little bit about retirement, how that works, and as I'm going through that, if you have questions, we can talk about it at that point in time when we get there. All right, salary is negotiated for support employees in Enid. That process is finished, so the salary schedule is set, which is a very good thing. The way we calculate your salary is, yes, you're an hourly employee, but we go ahead and put a calculation on there, whether it's 7.5 hours a day, 6 hours a day, some people are 4 hours a day. We then take that by how many days you're working. Some people work 174 days, some people, if you're a crossing guard, you might work 172, something like that. Then we have 184, then we have all the way up to 260-day support employees. And so we take all those numbers, we take your salary, the number of hours you're working, multiply that by the number of days, then we divide that by 12, and that gives us an average calculation for your average check. And then if you work overtime, if you go over that 40 hours or that 37.5 hours, then Lynette, she takes and makes sure you are adequately compensated for that additional time over this calculation figure that goes into calculating your salary. So while there's an average salary, you're also fairly compensated by the number of hours you work. So just kind of keep that in mind. There's a lot of people kind of get confused because they think, oh, I'm only going to make this. Well, if you work more, you get paid more. So, all right. The other thing on salary is you guys are paid on the 20th of every month. There's some support employees, they get 12 full checks, or some that get 10 full checks. So it's kind of hard to talk to a whole group exactly how many checks you're going to get. It's all based on the number of days you work and the months you're actually being paid for. So there's 12 and then there's 10, of course, on there. Again, here's an example of a paraprofessional, and this is the newest salary. So a paraprofessional makes $10.20 an hour. They work 7.5 hours a day, so we multiply that by 7.5, and then we multiply that, they work 180 days. So we multiply that by 180, and we end up with a yearly salary of $13,770. This person gets paid over a 12-month period, so we divide that by 12. So this again is average. Their average salary is $1147.50. Now, if that para ends up working a 9-hour day, then they're going to get an extra hour and a half added on to that salary for that pay period that next month. So that's kind of when you see your contract and you see salary calculation, that's how it's derived and that's where it comes from. All right, retirement. Retirement, I went around in the fall, or in the spring, and I met with all of our current support employees. So now I'm meeting with you guys to kind of talk about retirement, because retirement's a little bit different for support employees. But effective August 1 for our school district, the law went into effect July 1. you guys must, if you do not want to participate in retirement, you must opt out, which I believe Amy and them have taken care of those forms with you guys already. But this is how it works, and you still have 30 days to change your mind from the time you're officially hired. So we're going to go back to this paraprofessional, which you guys kind of already saw the monthly salary. You get that $1147 to $50. The employer retirement contribution is then calculated in the following way. And this is this second line coming down here. You take this $1147.50 and you multiply it by 0.075, and that represents 7.5% of this person's salary. So it turns out to be $86.06 a month for their retirement contribution that they would make. So that reduces, well, their total for the year is $1,032.75. So it reduces your monthly income by that amount, reduces your yearly income by that amount. So monthly, the monthly take home for this person would then become $1,061.44, and yearly would reduce down to $12,737.25. So that's the change in paying retirement in your paycheck. And that's kind of different for some people. That money is yours, so once you put it into the retirement account, and if you don't stay in long enough to be vested and do all those things, you can get that money back. It's a little bit of a process to do that. All right, so we're going to stick with our same example, which that's all the stuff from the previous slide in small print. So when do you become eligible for retirement, and how does retirement work? So we know that $86 is going to come out of this person's check every month. You become vested after 7 years. So once you've contributed for 7 full years to the retirement system, you are then vested, which means you become eligible for retirement. If you work anything less than that 7 years, you are not eligible for retirement, and that's when they want you to get your money out of the retirement system at that point in time. You then become eligible for retirement after the 7-year investment period when you either turn 65 or your age and your years of service add up to 90. So 65 or your years of service add up to 90, and that's all dependent upon reaching the age of 65 with 7 years. So if you're 58 and coming into this, you can get to that age of 65 and still retire at 65. If you come in at 60, then you're not vested till you put in 7 years, so your retirement would go to 67. So just kind of keep that in mind on how that works. An example of this would be a person works for 25 years as a para, and we're going to assume no pay increase. That is not true. Every year there's a step raise that normally goes on there. Take some kind of financial situation that you wouldn't get a step raise. But there's a step raise, so I'm just using this as an example because it's easier to follow when you talk about not getting a raise. So 25 years, you're going to pay that $86 every month. At retirement, the employee would earn, you take 25 and it gets a factor of 2. That 25 is your years of service. It gets multiplied by a factor of 2, which 25 times 2 is 50. So that means this person is eligible for 50% of their income that they earned while they were working. So how that's calculated is you take from retirement to the end of life, the employee would earn their salary, remember we're just saying it's fixed, was $13,770. You're going to multiply that by 0.5, so their annual income for working that 25 years is going to be $6,885 in retirement, which that may not sound like a really good deal, but when you break it down, this person contributed $86 a month out of their paycheck. Their return on investment is $573 a month in retirement benefit. And so that's really what you have to look at is, can I give up that $86, and everybody has a little bit different number, but can I give that up every month in order to wait? Can I wait 25 years, or might be longer for some, might be less for some, to get a number in return that I want to get to? And if there's any questions on that, we can sit down and we can kind of talk about and run really rough numbers, just like this is a really rough number. This person, of course, if you put in 25 years as a para, you're going to definitely make more than $573 because your pay is going to go up every year, so that number on your average salary is going to increase as well. So that's retirement in a nutshell, and just I want to make sure everybody kind of understands how that works. Money's going to come out of your check, but when you get to be retirement age, you're going to get the benefit of that money back to you on a monthly basis. And that money is for the rest of your life. There are options that you can use. There's a spousal benefit, there's a lump sum, there's all kinds of things. I don't really want to talk about those today because those are options you really need to talk about when you get to retirement, because our situation definitely changes between now and retirement. But anyways, this is the basic way to look at retirement. Are there any questions over retirement, kind of while we have these screens up there? Okay, we're going to go on. All right, fringe benefits in Enid, part of negotiations. Employees, based on their years of service, they get additional money added to their check per month based on what they do that can go towards fringe benefits. So everybody in here, 0 to 6, $75 extra a month. You can see the longer you work, the more you get. And of course, family has a little bit additional. If you have a family, it's 95 instead of that 75. But that's on the family insurance plan. State paid insurance, the state, on top of that $13,000 for that para, the state's going to give every employee an additional $615 as long as they work 6 hours or more. If you're less than 6 hours, you don't qualify for this benefit. So we can talk about that if you're not 6, but if most people are 6 or more, so you qualify for that. If you don't need the insurance because your spouse has insurance on you, you can take the cash option. And the cash option for you guys is $189 a month that can come to you in your paycheck. You can't get the $615 as cash. If you don't take insurance, you have to take the $189.69. Other benefits, the district, on top of that 7% you contribute, the district contributes another 9.5%. And then there's also FICA that we contribute. That's your Social Security benefit and those kind of things. And those are all statutory. We have to contribute those. Then there's also work comp benefits. The district also has liability insurance on you guys, so if something happens, and I hate to say this, some kid says, hey, they fell on me on purpose, that was within the scope of your work, the district has you covered if that student or their parent were to file a lawsuit against you for negligence, even though you weren't negligent, as long as it's within the scope and ability of your job. And then, of course, sick leave, which Jane already went through, sick leave on the accumulation and those kind of things. All right, Section 125 plan. This is why Lynette in the back, when Jane pointed her out, she's very important. You're going to have to sign up for a meeting and to either accept a 125 plan or not accept it. And this is your tax-deferred plan. This is, you want to run insurance through the 125 plan. If you have vision or dental that you're going to take out, you want to run it through the 125 because this keeps it from being taxed. You don't want that $615 to be taxed as income if you're going to be spending it on insurance. And that's what the 125 plan does, is it protects that. It makes that a pre-tax deduction off of your income. American Fidelity Services, our 125 plan. When you meet with American Fidelity, it's important to do your homework before you go see them, because they're going to probably try and sell you some other things that you may or may not need. So don't go in there just, oh, I'm here for a meeting, I was told to come here. Go in there understanding what you're there for, and that's to talk about additional benefits beyond health care, beyond dental, beyond vision. And to set up, you do have to set up your 125 plan, or say, I don't want to participate, sign that non-participation and walk out, and then you're done. But go in there with a plan so that way you're not having to spend hours with them unless you need to spend hours with them because you got a lot of things to talk about with them. So just kind of be prepared for that. So we have the 125 plan. We also have a tax sheltered annuity, a 403B, which that's kind of like a 401k, which most people are familiar with. But a 403B, that's what they call it in school district terms. It's where you can set aside a certain dollar amount, and it kind of goes into a financial planner or something like that. But really, that's all on you guys. There's no district match. That's only if you choose to do that. And we do have employees, they choose to contribute quite a bit because their spouse is taking care of their other incomes at their home. All right, the 403B rules are pretty simple. Once you contribute to a 403B, you can't get that money till you're 55, so be careful with that. If you get it out before you're 55, you pay a penalty on it, which is probably more than the tax savings you had initially on that money. And then, of course, at age 70, you have to start taking it out. There's $25 a month minimum, so you can't contribute less than $25, and you can't contribute more than $19,500 in a year. And then again, it's tax sheltered. We have several different companies you can use for that. But then this is another one of those things, American Fidelity, they have a 403B that you can also participate in, but you need to go in there knowing, yes, I want to do this, or no, I don't. All right, insurance. Insurance is what we're going to kind of end on. And because I believe that insurance, you have the greatest choice in how insurance impacts you and what you can do with this $615. Before I kind of get started, if your spouse has insurance coverage on you, and say they're military, and you have TRICARE, and you take out this school insurance, TRICARE then becomes your secondary insurance, and this becomes your primary. And this primary may not be as good as what your spouse has, so you really need to do your homework and verify that you want this to be your primary, because if you don't want it as your primary, you're probably in line to where you want to deny the benefit and take the cash option of the $189 if that's the case. But I'm going to give you my example of what I do with my insurance choices, and this is all based on my health. Me personally, I'm not recommending this for anybody in this room, but I'm using it as an example of how you truly have choices when it comes to how you utilize that $615, and can you utilize it to your benefit, to maybe do a little bit extra with it, or do you need that full $615 to pay for a better insurance plan? The insurance plan I go with is the Health Choice High Deductible Plan. And so I have a high deductible. I don't have the lower deductible. I think my total out-of-pocket's like $6,000 on this. But I go to the doctor maybe once or twice a year. I still have a good prescription plan with the high deductible. And so I don't really need health insurance unless I have something catastrophic happen, is kind of the way I look at it. Knock on wood, I've been pretty fortunate so far. So my insurance is $422 a month. So I take $615.90, subtract $422.26 from that. Then I have family dental that I get coverage on, and this is a very basic dental plan. It's really good for cleaning, maybe getting a cavity filled, and I can only go to one dentist here in Enid with this plan. That's why it's so cheap. But so I get the $25.14 dental plan, and then I have a health savings account, which is different than a flexible spend account. And the flexible spend account is the account where you put so much money in every month, and then come December, you're like, oh my gosh, I have $200 left in there. I have to get that spent down, because if you don't spend it down, then they take it away from you. A health savings account, that's your money forever, as long as it's in there. I get a little debit card. I can pay my doctor's bills with it. I can pay pretty much anything medical or health related with it. The example I use with this is a gentleman in town who uses his health savings account. He's going to pay for his nursing home care with it when he becomes that age. He's about 57 right now. His goal is to get over $80,000 in there, and basically he's going to pay for nursing home care. So that's kind of the proof that a health savings account truly never goes away. That's what he's going to do with his. So at the end of the month, when you take all those red numbers and you subtract them from $615.90, I get an extra $18.50 in my check every month, which I realize that's not a lot, but that's how I utilize my health benefit to my advantage for the health care that I need. So I get an HSA, which is just a savings account of $150 a month. I get my dental covered, and I get my health insurance covered, which of course it's a high deductible, but I get all that covered. There are health plans in there that cost more than $615. And you might have medical issues that you need a higher health plan. And so that's really why I encourage everybody to look over their health plans, look at the book, look at the chart in the back, compare it to what you have, compare it to what you need, and then see Lynette back there before you go. And she will take your health insurance form today, or you have until the 20th of next week to get that turned in. And then American Fidelity, you'll sign up with her as well for that benefits meeting to either say, yes, I want to participate in 125, or no, I do not. So if you guys have any questions, I'll definitely take them. If you want to come see me individually, we can do that as well. I'm here until you guys are not. So thank you guys.